All right, here we go again. So the insanity that the deep state is, and the insanity that the deep state causes, continues. And that insanity is based upon their desire to murder, maim, and destroy anything that is good or that could bring good upon the earth. Now, they'll look at their lives and tell you to look at their lives and say, well, isn't it good what we're doing and what's in our lives? Nazis said the same thing. What happened over the decades preceding the Nazis is happening here. And what happened in the decades post the Nazis is happening here. So again, remember I told you a lot of people got rich off of World War II, and the Nazis themselves really had a very short-lived fame. And that is usually true in a lot of these criminal enterprises that do support the deep state and the deep state supports. Now, many of them go on forever, but we've already arrested cells of the deep state not knowing they were deep state and never connecting them to deep state. Narcotics distributors, prostitution, human trafficking, so on and so forth. They were receiving protection from the deep state. And that protection, of course, not being real protection. So I'm on my way here to hopefully get my driver's license. That's part of what's making me ill, is that they've willed against my driver's license here in Texas. So when you will something, even if you will your daughter to get married to a good guy outside of God's will, not to say God would have your daughter get married to a person that was bad, but let's say you want your daughter to marry a certain person, and you've willed something in that direction, you could actually cause people to be murdered just so they could get married. Or you could cause, like it's happening today. This is deep state will causes coronavirus. They want to kill somebody, and the only way that person can be killed is via coronavirus, and might not succeed, but such is demonic endeavor. So they willed a lot of people dead. They willed a lot of things against me, and the only way to stop me was for me to get sick. So the moment I sold my car, it was like the perfect trap. The moment I sold my car, I got sick. I can't go get my license. I can't go get a new car, so I'm stuck in this rental car, just shuttling myself back and forth to the doctor and to getting whatever it is I need to get well. I'll tell you what, you people have to be like such junkies, because every single medication I take that's drowsy, I mean, I'm gone. The one medicine, they were scammers. They said, you can take this day or night. But what they didn't say, it wasn't non-drowsy. And luckily, before I opened it, I saw it. I took it back. Although I did open the container, and then I'm like, wait a minute. And it's a multiple curses. Like I said, I'm being cursed when I go to the stores, so by people in the community and sometimes people that work in the stores, and vice versa, vice. So my purchases are going to be off there. So it's all coming together. You see how the beast works, interrupting my buying and selling. But I buy this stuff, and I said, these people are scared. It doesn't say non-drowsy. Of course you can take it during the daytime, but I found out it could cause you to be drowsy. I'm like, I'm not taking this, because I just spent 6 hours detoxifying myself from what I took the night before. Go and try to find something that doesn't have an up or a down in it. I mean, it doesn't exist. I finally found something that said plain old cough syrup. I had to travel. I couldn't get it at Walmart. Walmart does not have plain old cough syrup. At least the Walmarts I went to. They sell it, but they didn't have it. I suspect CVS had it, but I was able to get it at Walgreens and Walgreens version. So, got my GPS here talking, so I have to see what I got to do. Oh, I have to turn here. Okay. Can you let me over? Thank you, sir. Let's see what we got going here. All right. No, I'm not going to call him Pepe the Mexican. I'll get out of here, spirit of evil. Got a little racism happening here. In the spirit world, that is. There's engine 2 again. But that's a different engine 2. Unspit on. I finally got it. The other engine 2 was E2, so I'm like, what is the private E2? What is that? Guy you always spit on, right? But I didn't get it yesterday. Today, hey, got my cue. New brighter day now that I got the spit off of me. New brighter day, Christian Academy. Up and on. So, another engine number 2 came by, and this time it got through. So, yes, they use a variety of methods to ruin your life. But I'll tell you what, I had to detox for about 6 hours before I could honestly trust myself in a car to drive. I mean, people will probably drive under the influence of cold medicine, but I don't. I could even feel last night I took an antihistamine one because I had to buy the cough syrup at Walgreens, and I didn't feel like going all the way to CVS. So I went to Walgreens, and to buy that, I had to buy a double. You know, one was day and one was night. The day one didn't have anything. So I said last night, right before I go to sleep, I'll take the one with the antihistamine in there. But I'll tell you what, I can feel it. I mean, it's ever so little, but I can feel it. So again, let's get some of the normal cough syrup out of there. Just one item in there, just the cough syrup stuff. The cough suppressant. But I'm going to continue on with this. I'll speak about the deep state a little bit more later. But I was a Healers police officer by the Cottonville Smith County Constable Blown. Healed. Smith County Tax Office there or something. But let me get the devils out of here. They're trying to stop me. Whoa. So, I've always agreed that the internet can be too much information. It's the greatest thing in the world. And Deep State can use that. They can steer the wrong TMI towards you so you don't get the right information, either cause you to be confused or panicked or not get anywhere. Believe me, they're everywhere. They're doing everything I tell you they're doing. And I'll get into that more later. So I'm reading the internet, and it says, if you have this bacterial throat thing, possibly strep throat, within 24 hours of taking the antibiotic, you should be better. Nothing contradicted that the first time I Googled it. I'm like, darn, it could be something else because it's 24 hours and I don't see anything happening. And I said, well, I'll fight it if it's viral, whatever it is, but I got to continue taking this antibiotic. So then the next day, I felt a little better. And I'm thinking, I bet you the window's past 48 hours or something, or around 48 hours. And then I Googled it again, and there it was, 48 to 72 hours. So, it can be very confusing, the internet. I don't know why that information came up, other than Satan exists, and Satan exists in the internet at times. And that's spiritual, but yet there are physical people moving satanic things. Now, here's an example. You could have a government agent go to church every day, live a perfect life, never sins, purer than pure itself. And you can have a pornographer that runs a porno site. The pornographer doesn't wheel anybody to a site. He just sells or gives it for free, whatever it is. The government agent wheels people to that site every day. Which one's getting into heaven first? Let's say they both believe in Jesus. You see? That's the reality. How could now today the publicans are part of the deep state, so I mean are part of the beast. So the idea of publicans getting into heaven first is probably not too possible. But the harlots and I'll say the harlots and the pornographers getting to heaven before you because you're putting everybody into them, and you're not blocking the stuff I told you to block yet, at least. So again, this is how it really works. But do you know when they listen on your devices, and they can listen through all sorts of things, your Ring camera, they watch you. The government watches you through your Ring camera if they want to. I'll tell you that. There's no court left in the United States that's going to restrict them from anything. You're lucky if you ever get anywhere in court. Let me get a lawyer to take it. They don't want to be President Trump. Lawyers don't want to be President Trump, so they're not going to take your case. But they got computers that analyze what's going on in your house, and they'll tell you, well, we're doing this to save people, and we're trying to find child molesters and rapists and murderers. When they're doing their deep state thing, they're listening in your house because it's psychological warfare. They're trying to commit genocide. They want to know just how to kill you and how to succeed at it and how to stop you from positive things and how to take you into negative things. Whether they go to church or not, whether they sin visually before you or not. So they listen in, and they got computers that tell them everything you're doing. They've got computers that tell them, based upon the sounds they hear, what you're doing. So they use that to murder people. And they use medicine, they use psychology, they use financial information that they steal from the banks. Or they sometimes subpoena because we've got to find that Luna missing money. We need to know everything about all of you. We need to find that New York inspector's missing money. Who actually stole it? There was a deputy U.S. Marshal inspector in New York who committed suicide based upon supposed missing money. Jonathan Luna committed suicide because they psychologically operated him around missing money, quote unquote. But yet, there's trillions of dollars in the Pentagon and nobody gives a darn about it. Because you know what? It's funding CIA homes, CIA cars, the employees. They get some of it. And their lifestyles of the ignorant and corrupt, known as the Central Intelligence Agency, FBI, DHS, Deep State, so on and so forth. You live in a foreign nation today. You don't live in the United States of America. We can congratulate the United States on its successes all we like, but there is a reality that you do not live in the United States of America any longer. You live in a place run by the deep state shadow government, criminal enterprise, genocidal acts. And if they select you to be executed, then you're executed. It's just the way it works. Nothing just about it, of course, so we'll remove that thought. So again, everything they're doing to President Trump is to distract him from stopping the deep state from killing the everyday citizen. That's really what it is. The more they can put before him, the more he's going to be encumbered and unable to investigate in an increasing manner that he needs to, in the increasing manner he needs to. So that's where we are. You do not live in the United States of America. Remember, in the communist Russia, Soviet Union, China, other places, people did well. People did well. But not everybody. So what they do is they make it so much, they make people's focus so much self-centered, and everything's so self-centered and selfish that nobody's willing to do anything for anybody, or even want to change anything because their life is comfortable enough. But they're going to hell no matter how many times they go to church, no matter how many times they stop other people from going to church, no matter how many times they give to charity, and no matter how much money they stop from other people having or stop people from doing charity. Because that's what your deep state's also doing. Again, remember, part of what they're doing is to defame the person that they're trying to murder. It's sociopathic and narcissistic. That's why they called President Trump that. That's why they're doing all this against President Trump. Isn't Pelosi a nutbag? Isn't Schumer a nutbag? Isn't Schiff a nutbag? I mean, how insane and deluded could you ever be beyond what they are? But I'm sure it can get worse. Because the beast is here, and it's not quite yet, probably, but it is here. Or it could be. It could be today. Today could be the end. You know, I'm going to go on in here real quick. I got to get something and then hit the highway. Well, praise God in all that you do. Praise God.